All right, guys. Good evening. Hey, Ron is alive and with us too. I was so out of practice for this week that I actually started that whole show and we weren't even live. And now we are live, but that was quite comical. This week we're going to kind of touch on everything that is going on with the 50th. Going to talk about the annual passes. They re-released and are available for sale again, so people are getting those. We're going to go over the price structure a little bit and talk about the new Genie Plus, the Lightning Lanes. Space 220 opened this week. I had the opportunity to talk to a couple of friends who were there, and we're going to kind of go over some of the things with the Space 220. I've heard phenomenal reviews of food so far. So that's a big plus. I was very impressed by that with Disney because, to be honest, Disney usually does not dominate with food quality. It tends to be middle of the road theme park food.
That is not true.
Oh, I think
okay. Somebody out there, please. Victoria and Albert's. Come on. I forget the name. The restaurant above Chefs de France.
Oh yeah, Victoria and Albert's is a different. Yeah, but I'm talking the average person, not the person going for $1,250.
That restaurant above Chefs de France. That is not even Chefs de France is not garden variety theme park food.
No, I'll give you a couple of places in Epcot aren't. And I mean, we've always enjoyed Be Our Guest, but it's traditionally, for the amount of money you pay, the food quality is not what you think it's going to be when
right.
In fairness.
You're paying for the experience. You're paying, pre-pandemic, you're paying to meet the princesses or to say hi to Beast or to look down at Earth from however many
correct
miles.
And I mean, even right now, I mean, the buffets and some of the places to me aren't really worth the amount of money you pay. Space 220 is not cheap. It's a $79 prefix meal for dinner, $55 prefix for lunch. That is a lot of money. If you're talking a family of four, you go out to lunch, you're talking $250 for your lunch.
Sure.
I definitely would expect a good quality food. And I was relieved to hear that even though the menu is somewhat eccentric, it is being met with very positive reviews from what I've seen so far. So we'll delve into that a little bit. The 50th is 9 days away.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we're that close. And they are announcing new things every day still.
There's a lot going on. I mean, there are things tying in on the West Coast of the U.S. There are things happening there, even though the 50th is happening in Orlando, but they're tying, as they will, things that are happening on DCL. And actually there's some great Florida resident discounts that are coming up for the value, moderate, and the the premium resorts.
For what dates? Do you know the time frames?
I do, as a matter of fact. Folks, bear with me. There's so much information.
Was that the one that they're running from the 12th to the 20?
I think the 24th.
12th to the 24th of December. Yep.
But it's all the resorts, and the discounts run from 10 to 20 or 25%, depending where you're staying.
Yep. And it's a shorter season than normal, but given the fact that it's the 50th year, to be honest with you, I'm surprised they offered the discounts at all.
Well, I think it is the 50th year, but also, I mean, and there's plenty of people out there watching who have been to the parks, and they're going to say, gosh, kind of a ghost town right now. I mean, the thing that we forget is, in normal circumstances, everything south of the equator right now is in opposite season. So they're moving out of winter, but we missed all of those international tours that ordinarily would happen, which I think contributes to the park's relative lack of compactness.
And we talked about that last week with, with Tegan and I just having recently been there, that it's really been a perfect storm for occupancy. And even this week, they were talking about lower occupancy in parks. They were talking about low wait times. I actually was involved in a conversation with somebody online that was trying to tell me how busy it was in the parks. And I said, as someone who travels pretty frequently, I was kind of surprised to hear him say that, to be honest. And he said, well, it's very busy today. And I said, maybe it is busy, but it's the slower time. I mean, even busy for September is still so much slower than what it is, Christmas week or 4th of July or during the summer months. Because, even the day he was telling me it was really busy, I checked the wait times, and, Slinky Dog was like 40 minutes. It wasn't up over 100 minutes, it wasn't. So when you're at the point where the most popular rides are less than a 2-hour wait, it is not overly busy in parks. So what, you and I have seen it pre-pandemic when it really is busy.
Yeah, and I think
you can't even move on Main Street. It's so busy.
To that point, when I hear that, I consider the source. Is this someone who is a veteran and has been to the parks dozens of times?
Yeah,
in the 4 different seasons.
I don't know if he travels in different seasons, but clearly it was just, he felt as though I was trying to be argumentative, and I was trying to tell him, hey, you hit a great time to be there. Congratulations. Right. And it kind of got perceived the wrong way. And I was just like, well, I'm not going to try to tell you any different, but trust me, I've been there when it's busy, and this ain't it. So the passes, annual passes have been a hot button topic for months.
They started sending out the magnets. Wrong one. Sorry. Sorry.
Nice. I'm envious.
Aren't those awesome?
Those are nice. Yeah. I like them.
Lion Country Safari is kind of cool too.
We might get a universal magnet this year.
Yeah,
but we don't have our Disney. We don't have our Disney pass anymore. Right. So sadly, no more magnets for us. Whoop! And I'm hitting my camera here, and like I'm looking incredibly unprofessional. Which hey, we're not professionals. We're just a couple of guys talking.
That's why we wore our best Disney shirts today.
We did. Awesomeness from cast members, because we experienced some of that while we were there.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different tiers of pass holder options this year. And to get your annual pass, there's a couple of tiers. The Pixie Dust Pass, the Pirate Pass, the Sorcerer Pass, and the Incredi Pass. So the cheapest pass is now going to run
is the gas pass. The passing gas. No, sorry, go ahead.
The cheapest pass is the Pixie Dust Pass, which is only available to Florida residents. It's It starts at $3.99, and it allows you to make 3 park reservations. The blackouts in that pass are extremely high. There are no weekends and no peak vacation times in that pass. And all the passes grant you free theme park parking, 10 to 20% off your dining and merchandise, and they all come with the park hopper option, which you can pay for.
And if I may just to jump in, and this what I'm going to bring up is something that could easily be debated, not the focus of tonight's show, but I've always believed that passes like that, like at one point years ago, there was an Epcot after Photopass. You might remember that, which was awesome. And I always tell people, who get upset about the idea that the pass excludes weekends or peak periods. And I say, look, Disney's doing you a favor, because if you've ever been on a July 4th weekend or the week in December from the 25th to the 1st of January, it's kind of mind-numbing how crazy things are. And the prices don't really change that much, the 1 day, 1 park pass. So take advantage of it. Disney's kind of done the work for you by saying, hey, not that busy, buy this pass. You're going to see more and do more, probably with less sweaty people bumping into you.
Now, that being said, and that's a very valid point, these passes are limited to Florida residents, where you're going to have the option of being a little closer, even if you're South Florida. You're few hour drive. You can make a couple days of it, do what you need to do. The next pass is the Pirate Pass, which does allow you weekend accessibility, but no peak times. So you'll miss Christmas week, spring break, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, all the major holidays or vacations, you're going to be blocked out. That one allows you 4 park reservations at a time.
Wait, let me ask, does it specifically say all the holidays? Because Thanksgiving in the parks is typically not a very busy day.
Thanksgiving is blocked out on that pass. I looked at
fascinating.
It. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of Thanksgiving are blocked out.
Got it.
So that's the Pirate Pass. That starts at $6.99. Also available only to Florida residents.
That's $200 more, correct?
Yep.
So $200 more. So basically, for $200 more, that's 2 days in the park. You get weekends.
Correct.
I mean, so that's a way to weigh it out, folks.
Yep. Now, the Sorcerer Pass adds on Florida residents and DVC members. So if you're a DVC member, you can get this pass. The Sorcerer's Pass has no Christmas and no Thanksgiving. They're blacked out. Other than that, you have full availability. Full availability for the summer.
Really?
Full availability for the February break, January, everything else. That one is $8.99. You are allowed 5 park reservations at a time.
Does that one include July 4th?
Yeah.
Wow.
The Incredi Pass is available to everyone. This is the big pass that out-of-staters would have to get. It's $12.99. Gives you 5 reservations at a time, 5 park reservations at a time, no blackout dates. And to my knowledge, if you are staying on property, you will be able to book the length of your stay in park reservations up to, I think it's 10 days, maybe 14 days. I'll have to do some research on that. But I believe as long as you're staying on property and have tickets, which you would have with an annual pass, you can book passes out. I'm not positive on that, though. But anyway, 5 park reservations at a time, with no blackouts, and the renewal prices on those passes. Pixie Dust Pass is $3.99. If you're renewing, it's $3.39, so you save $60, and you have 30 days after your last pass date to renew your pass without penalty. So you'd still get the renewal price. If you wait beyond 30 days after your pass expires, you'll have to pay full price to renew. The Pirate Pass, $6.99, renewals $5.94. Sorcerer Pass, $8.99, renewal $7.65.
So it sounds like so far the discounts are a savings of anywhere between 15 and 20%.
Yeah, right around there. And then the $12.99 Incredi Pass is $11.04 for your renewal. Now, here's where it gets a little sticky for a lot of people, because when you bought the Platinum Pass or the Platinum Plus Pass prior with Disney, you got your Photopass included in the price. That is no longer the case. You need to add Photopass. And I will also tell you, if you're a family of 4, that means you're adding 4 $99 charges to your pass. So it's actually going to cost you $400 for the year to renew your Photopass. But then all the passes on your account will have Photopass, and if they scan their vans or go on a ride, you're going to get the photos. I thought you'd be able to add Photopass to one ticket.
Yeah.
If you do it as an independent transaction, and this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is what I was told.
There you go.
If you order your family 3 passes, and then you as a 4th person get a separate transaction and add the Photopass to your ticket, you can just do the one Magic Band of yours to have a Photopass.
Right.
If you renew it as a package as your family for 4 and say you want a Photopass option, you're going to get charged $400.
So, and I'll be honest, I'm curious to see how long this is going to go on. I don't feel it's a money grab. I understand the value behind doing it, but I think Disney is probably going to take the analytics and look at it and recognize this may not be a good idea compared to whatever money we're making. And I think that's just my own personal thought. But I want to jump on, since you did mention Photopass. For those who don't know, this has been a long time in the works, several years. Disney Cruise Line is in the process, if it hasn't happened already, of phasing out their third-party vendor, and it's going to be Photopass on the ships. There's going to be Memory Maker. Wow. Yeah, there's all of these things are going to happen, and there was also in the works before the pandemic a process of being able to get a Memory Maker that was sort of a surf and turf, good on both the ship, good in the parks. Because for those that have been on the DCL ships, it's always been an issue in the past, which is, wait a minute, these photos are completely separate and I have to pay for them. I mean, I understand why people were frustrated by that. I was too, but I think the way things are laying out, this is the path that's happening.
I think if they eventually did a charge for Disney Photopass, period, and did something similar to you're purchasing a quote unquote annual pass, but it would be good at any Disney venue for your pictures, I think that would be something that would be pretty neat and is not unrealistic in feasibility to say, if you booked Adventures by Disney, if you did a cruise, if you went to Alani, if you went to Vero Beach, if you went to Disney parks, any, complimentary, quote unquote, complimentary photo opportunity that they then charge you for the photos.
Yeah, right.
But if they take your picture, you would have access to it if you bought this, a photo passport, if you want to call it that.
Right.
I think that would be a great thing to implement into future planning with
And
Disney.
Just to quickly tack on to that, taking Photopass a step further, there's going to be magic shots available on the Disney Cruise Line ships. Some
I
of them
saw
will
that.
be,
That's pretty cool too.
Captain Mickey, Captain Minnie, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Donald, Cruise Director Daisy, Sailor Goofy, Chip and Dale, and then of course Tinkerbell. So I think that's a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited to see that transition happening.
And this year for the 50th, I know they're doing some like video magic, similar with Snapchat filters, but like a live animation in your photo, in your picture, on your own phone, being able to do some stuff. So there's some neat stuff coming out of Disney right now, which is definitely, definitely a big plus. And listen, if you add Photopass to a $1,300 annual pass, you're at $1,400 a person.
Oh yeah.
If you add the sports, what is it, water park and sports activities, that's another $100. However, again, like you were saying earlier, sounds like a lot, but if you went to the water parks one day, you've now paid for your entire season. So
I agree. And I think just do basic math, folks. When you're looking at the passes, figure it out. If you're a family that's out of town, a family of 4 or 5, and you're sure you're going to travel to Disney 2 or 3 times in the course of a 12-month rolling calendar, and each time you go, you're going to be there anywhere from 4 to 7 days, your passes are paid for plus, because they include parking and a host of other benefits. And I'm sure Disney's going to continue to roll out pluses that only pass holders get. I mean, besides the really nifty magnets,
I think you're going to see a reversal with some of the things that have bothered pass holders too. There are some legitimate complaints with some people about some of the new structures and everything else. I think you will see some of that roll back as crowds diminish a little bit from the 50th. I think, they are planning on a perfect storm. They're planning on being maxed out, and they've already started to roll back. Because honestly, those hotel specials in December, I'm a travel agent. No one expected them. No one. And when demand dropped, they said, "Oop, let's offer some specials and we can fill those rooms again." And it's marketing. It's marketing.
It is. And I also want to say, this to me is a lovely aspect of Disney. There was once upon a time a Disney where they traded on the cachet of their brand and the name alone, which is why they would never offer discounts. They would never offer these kind of discounts, especially around the holidays, because the people in marketing had said, we're Disney and people will pay if they want to come. So thankfully they're being sensitive to that. I think that's a good thing for business and for the guests.
And the other side of it too, and I mean, we have to be realistic in the conversation, is that COVID has painted them into a corner in a lot of ways, among other businesses, that you have to accommodate for the realities that people are going to cancel. People are not coming. Like you're losing probably 10% of your sales last minute because people decide, it's not really where I wanted it to be. We held out with the hopes that it would be okay, and we're not comfortable enough yet. So there's still that aspect that has to be written into the marketing side of it. And when that happens, I saw a post the other day, people talking about Boo Bash and trying to get into Boo Bash because it has been highly reviewed, because it's more like a after hours event rather than a 35,000 person party. So people are getting things done, and people are being able to enjoy themselves and really enjoying the experience. So they don't mind paying that extra money to go in, but most of the events are sold out. But if you go to guest services the day of, there are cancellations. There are a certain number of tickets that are held for the event that are not sold until day of for you, for those people that are there last minute kind of going, you know what? It would really make our vacation special if we could get to Boo Bash. We didn't know about it. We're new Disney people. We found out once we were here. We didn't buy it in advance. And I know it's sold out, but could we get tickets? Yes, we can make your dreams come true. And bam. So that's allocated into,
I feel the
you know,
pixie dust after that. I just love
yeah,
it.
I know. It gives you the shivers, doesn't it?
It gives me something.
Those that's another show. That's there, but it's very nice that, you know, Disney does plan in that manner where some places really truly don't. They
Right.
Disney is very good at accommodating last minute requests and trying. Now, for the people that try to take advantage of it, you can be greatly disappointed. But if you're sincere and talk to the right people,
Yes.
it's very rare that Disney is going to turn around and just tell you to pound sand. If you have a, you know, legitimate concern, legitimate complaint, or anything else, as we've talked of in countless episodes here. I personally like the idea of the sports option on my annual pass, and it includes some new stuff. One, I was just reminded of tonight that I actually want to try, and when we go down over Columbus Day weekend, I think we have a reservation at Boma one morning at 7:30 in the morning. And I think even though we're not doing any parks at Disney, I have a lunch reservation at Beaches and Cream that same day. And I think I am now going to go try to play foot golf if it's open. And I don't even know what it is. I saw the name and I'm intrigued and I want to go check it out. So,
well, I feel like something's probably in the title. I heard that they're going to be introducing over at Fort Wilderness something called cow chip slinging. I guess I can imagine what that is.
Nice. I sling that in my backyard every day with 4 dogs. But foot golf, what I was getting at with that is the $99 upcharge on your pass to add the water parks and sports. It includes.
Does that include golf? I don't remember. Does that include?
It does, and it includes the mini golf courses once a day before 4 p.m. So you could go play
that right there.
That's what I'm saying. There's some good little perks in there. Let me hold on. Let me Ron.
I'll talk.
You can take over for a minute. I'm gonna make Ron.
All right, folks, if you can hear me.
Let me see if I can get you over here.
What happened?
And I'm trying to make you the principal guy.
Oh, I don't hear you. No sound. Hi, I don't know if you folks can hear me, but if you can, we're pretty excited about all the things that are going on. Wanted to share, just in case you caught last week's show. You know, we were talking about Nemo closing, how it happened, how the news got out, and how people responded to it. I wanted to follow up because Disney followed up. I don't want to call it reactive because I don't believe it was, but they announced that a new Nemo show is coming out with new show elements and new music in 2022. And the scuttlebutt that I've got suggests it leans more towards being Dory inclusive. So very excited to hear that news. I think it's a great show, a great venue, and I'm tremendously thrilled that my actor equity brothers and sisters will be there being able to perform. So I just learned that, and that was a tremendous thrill. Looks like we may have Brian back on the hook.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Can you hear me now?
All right, folks. Welcome.
I guess that's the no.
Welcome to technology.
This is a first. But you can look. You can look.
Let's see here. All right. I was talking, wasn't I? How do I get rid of this now? All right, here we go. Good. All right. What else are we talking about? So things that are also happening is this is a very cool thing that's happening in the Orlando location at Disney Springs. It's called Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit. Hi, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I don't have any audio.
Okay.
At all. You can hear me though.
Yep.
Wow, that's fun. Well, folks, I don't know. Does anybody out there want to let us know if you can hear both of us or?
Can you hear me
I hear
now?
sound. Yes. So
Okay.
real quickly before you jump in, I just wanted to share. Disney had announced that at the downtown Disney district, there's something they're offering called Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit. It's a scavenger hunt of sorts, and you can purchase the official game board and stickers for $10 at World of Disney, Disney Pin Traders, and a couple of other places. But you can find the pumpkins, you can do the whole thing without actually buying the board. But if you buy the board and you redeem the completed game board at Pin Traders, you get a really cool spooky prize, which is probably, knowing Disney, a highly limited edition collectible pin.
we love those pins. So real quick, what that water park and sports option adds: Blizzard Beach, Typhoon Lagoon when it opens, Oak Trail Golf Course, foot golf at Disney's Oak Trail, Winter Summerland Miniature Golf Course, 1 round per day before 4 p.m.
That's awesome.
Fantasia Gardens Mini Golf Course, 1 round per day before 4 p.m. and access to the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. So that is what you get with that, which I do find pretty darn cool.
Isn't access to the sports complex free anyway?
I don't know. Maybe not anymore.
I mean, it used to be. So
I know, but a lot of things used to be at Disney.
Yeah. Fast.
There's a lot of changes, and you know, when I say it like that, that's not a negative, because it's an evolution, and we've talked about this all along. You know, I mean, I'm one of the people that doesn't necessarily agree with all of Bob Chapek's decisions. I'm not necessarily a fanboy of the new CEO. But at the same time, that being said, you know, Disney, most of the plans that people are flipping out about have been in place for years. They're coming to fruition over time.
Yeah,
Disney doesn't make quick, snap, rash judgments.
Well, that's also not entirely true. When Frozen came out, I don't believe that Disney was ready for the overwhelmingly positive response to the film. And I've never seen such agility in entertainment in my life as what happened at studios with Frozen Summer, the big Frozen Summer offering. They built this beautiful artificial skating rink in one of the sound stages, and they literally and this whole thing happened inside of a month. It went from people going, oh, we better do something, to bam, there was this new built-in offering to the day. But you're right. You know, Disney typically, capital improvements and things like that, the financing is earmarked and the plans are in place. I had an Imagineer tell me, he said, ordinarily from inception to introduction, the folks that started with the project, half of them are gone because they've moved on to other projects. So you don't even get to see your baby born.
Well, and I mean, I think that's something that also, over time, that again, a lot of the knocks right now coming publicly are just, they're unfortunate in some ways in my eyes, because I don't think at the same time that I'm not necessarily a fan of the CEO, I also don't think he's getting a fair shake. I think he's getting condemned for a lot of things that he really didn't have much to do with, but that may or may not be fact.
Right.
COVID, here's the kicker to me. A lot of people had expectations for the 50th, and Disney had expectations for the 50th.
Yes. The world had expectations.
Yeah, and 18 months of COVID screwed that up. And you're not going to have Tron on October 1st. You're not going to have Guardians of the Galaxy. You're not going to have Epcot finished and the first phase finished.
You're not going to have Luau. You're not going to have Hoop. There's a lot of things that just couldn't be reactivated, brought online. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the next 12 to 18 months, but
I mean, you lost months worth of construction due to safety concerns.
Sure.
You lost, equity actors. You lost shows, performers. You lost staff, a lot of staff, and they still are fighting fiercely to get more people working in parks. I'm anxious to see, honestly, how the first 2 weeks of October roll out, because they are going to be as crowded as they have been since reopening, and they are still going to be significantly short on staff. And I'm anxious to see how the feedback from guests, how that transpires. I mean, they've had some issues with transportation, with monorails, with other things, and that doesn't seem rectified yet. I'll be honest.
And the Skyliner, I think, as it took a little while to grow on me, but I love it as a form of transportation. I love the aerial perspective you get, but man, a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, and it goes 101. And that's really difficult because, I know when they pitched the idea and it got greenlit, it was all based on the fact that they were going to be able to move, 4,000 people an hour from resort A to resort B, whatever it was. Someone produced a metric and said, this is what's going to really take the weight off the buses, the boats, the monorails. Give us a little bit of electrical activity and forget it.
Yeah. And it definitely does make a difference, but I think they also forgot that, during the fall, and this is going to be the most interesting part of it, you're talking hurricane season. October 1st, you're still in hurricane season. So you're going to have storms, wind, and rain. And when that happens, we were there. We had to ride the boat. And then the boat went down. Luckily we made it to the restaurant, but the boats went down. So, then they start busing. And, I believe you had to bus back from
I did.
Beach Club.
I did.
To Hollywood Studios or to Pop.
Yeah, I did. It worked out all right. And I'm thankful that transportation is there. But, to your point you made a few minutes ago, everybody is scrambling to find help. We talked about this last week. Space Odyssey 2001 is hiring people in the kitchen, and they're offering bonuses.
20.
I know.
you and your 70s reference jokes. A few people might get it. Just because we're three dads doesn't mean three more dads are watching.
Come on. If Frank is watching, he gets it too.
Yeah, Frank probably would. And Jen might even get it too.
That's right.
But
I mean, there's a lot of in the best of times pre-pandemic, Disney was offering pretty significant bonuses to people willing to take roles in transportation. Drive a bus, complete your training, stay with the company 90 days, $500, $1,000, $1,500, depending on what the promotion was.
I'm ashamed to admit it. It was my own state that was hiring National Guard bus drivers.
I know.
It was my own state. I didn't even realize that when you said it, that we were doing it, because I don't watch local news. But yeah, it was our own state. Yep.
Yeah. And they're paying parents to drive their kids because they don't have enough.
But I'll tell you what, you want to see the most behaved bus in the state? Find the one where the guy in fatigue shows up to pick your kids up. Because I'll tell you, those are some well-behaved kids on that bad boy.
Very good point. Very good point.
And parents have been commenting about it. It's actually funny in some of the community forums. The parents are commenting how well behaved the kids are on the bus right now, because there's men in uniform and women in uniform.
Yeah, good. I love it.
It is pretty funny, but the reality, when we were talking about Space 220 earlier, so super cool concept for a restaurant. First off, really neat, and I understand there's a lot of people that argue that all the new rides and new experiences are all seeming to be screen based in both, Universal parks, Disney parks, everywhere. That it's, screens, technology, it's perception, everything else. Some people don't really love that. I'm not a huge fan of screened rides. They tend to make me, I have bouts with vertigo. So I can really have a tough time with some of the virtual reality and forced perspective on the ride, making me feel like, even though I know mentally I'm on the ground, that feeling of falling or anything else is kind of trippy. But I saw some video of going in and riding the elevator at Space 220.
Oh, really?
And then the dining area. And there, to my knowledge, there is no elevator. It's just a room, and it shakes. But
it's probably like the hydrolators when was it GE? I can't remember who had sponsored Living Seas before the sponsorship went away, but you'd go to those hydrolators, same thing. Bubbles and water on the sides and the floor vibrating. So probably something very similar.
Yep. But the video of it was incredible. It looks amazing.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
It also changes with you during the time of the day. So if you go in at night, your elevator ride will be seeing you leave the ground from Florida and go to space at night.
That's fun.
So it's realistic. The view from space was really cool from what I saw. The food and drinks, the lounge looks incredible. The layout of the restaurant looks great. For those of you wondering, all two of you that may not be going anytime at all soon, but for those of you wondering, Space 220, as of yesterday, was booked all the way until November 20th before you had any availability for new reservations.
I love it.
So they are slammed with bookings. Tegan and I were considering trying to get a booking, and then we're going to buy a ticket and get a reservation, but we're too broke for that right now. So we're but yeah,
holy cow.
Bob Chapek, you priced us out. But I'm just kidding. It's we have other things on the agenda. But the restaurant looks amazing. The interior looks incredible.
I'm watching the elevator ride right now.
Yeah, it really looks neat.
Yeah, it does.
So the reviews, as I said, food has been highly reviewed. Yep, you're taking off to space. There you go. And I forget what they call it, but there you go. You were riding all the way up.
That is the rendering though the computers that they had to create.
Well,
to
but
process
here's
this.
the funny part, Ron. You're only looking at the down view. There's an up view.
Yeah, there's the up views there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. The way you were holding the phone, I couldn't see it. But yeah, it was very impressive. I was
Wow.
very impressed with the way they did everything. The menu looks amazing, and I'll tell you honestly, you know, even though I was saying earlier that theme park food is not. I think the problem is a lot of people go in and say, I'm paying $79 a dinner, and they're going to expect Ruth Chris, and they're going to expect STK, and they're going to expect some of these places where this isn't what you're going to get, because the reason the cost is so high is there's maintenance involved in the restaurant, there's production, there's other things going on.
And whatever the licensing fee is that this company has to pay to Disney to run the restaurant.
Yeah, no, of course. And because this is a third-party restaurant, I believe, correct?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And is that the only one now on property in park?
That is not a no, let's go through. Let's see. China is third party.
Nine Dragons is?
Mm-hmm. Norway is Disney. Germany is Disney.
Isn't
Italy? I am not sure if Via Napoli is or not. American Adventure, of course, yes. Morocco is third party.
Is Tepanito?
What's that?
Is Tepanito Japan?
You know what? It was third party. I don't know if it still is. Okay. So, and then Canada, that one I'm not sure about. But yeah, so there's actually quite a few in Berm in the park.
Canada, just check the bill. If the steak was $35 and you get charged $25 in taxes, it's Canadian.
Nice. You just couldn't resist.
Well, I lived close to Canada for so long. We used to go to Montreal every weekend. It was only a 3-hour drive.
Good point. Did you go to the Montreal Ballet?
Like, no, we used to go to the bars because once we were 18, you could drink in Canada.
Yeah.
You couldn't drink in the States. So we just drove up from New Hampshire, went to Montreal, got a room at the Sheraton, and spent a lot of time on Rue Crescent, which was just one of the little club streets. And the Hard Rock was up there, which wasn't even a real Hard Rock. It was a ripoff Hard Rock. Wasn't owned by Hard Rock Corporation.
Yeah, it was Hard Rock with an X.
Yeah, but we went
or the French spelling, CQUE, ROCQUE.
Yeah, there you go. That Hard Rock. We went to the Hard Rock there, and actually, ironically, I said ironically on purpose, saw Alanis Morissette, but before she ever came out with her album that made her big, she was like a 16-year-old teeny bop pop princess that was like Madonna, and she had a very short career in legitimate pop, but she released two albums, I think. And she gave us her cassette tapes at the time at the show. She gave everybody a cassette tape of her newest album, and I still have that thing somewhere.
That's awesome.
But it was one of those neat moments that, and Disney over the years has had, plenty of artists that are starting out and play a stage in Epcot or play somewhere and then go on to bigger and better things. And then they also have the people that were bigger and better things that now need a couple $100 extra on the weekend, so they play shows. But it's a little bit of both.
The Disney contracts, whether it's something happening at the American Garden Theater or somewhere else, the contracted performers that are brought in to the parks and resorts do okay.
Oh yeah. No. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
We saw Rick Springfield a couple of years ago, which was, it's always one of the, the women in our age group go gaga over Rick Springfield. And Tegan was with us, and we sat in the back, and he came back and like walked right down our row while he was singing. And Tegan looked up and went, "Who is that? And why is he so old?" So it was pretty funny. We got a good charge out of that.
I one night I'm closing up entertainment at Epcot, and a friend of mine who was stage managing the AmGard, American Gardens Theater, said, "Hey, you got to come by once you're done if you've got time." ELO is loading in, and and they had to do a sound check. I was like, "Okay, cool." So I get my things done. I pop over and I sit down, and it was really cool being, one of a handful of people just hanging out, because everybody there had a reason to be there. And their sound checks were, they played 4 songs, and I closed my eyes and listened to Telephone Line, and I was just, you open your eyes and go, boy, yeah. But it was amazing to me how beautiful the voices sounded, how crisp everything still sounded. Just really awesome.
They don't bring me down. I like them.
Yeah, I do too. I have a Dutch friend who's got a band, and they did a cover of Telephone Line, which is it brought me to tears. And I told him, I was like, "Man, I love ELO. I just do." And
there was a song they did called "Fire on High" that used to play on an amusement park ride when I was a kid. At Funtown, USA in Saco, Maine. You want to talk theme parks, guys? You have not lived until you've experienced Funtown, USA. It is more fun than Old Town. It's Fun Town.
Old Town can't help itself. It's a space still trying to find its identity. Kind of like Disney's Hollywood Studios, what's our icon this year, so Old Town is kind of the same way. You don't really know what it's supposed to be, and I don't think they know either.
I think they need I need the Millennium Falcon to be able to fly over Hollywood Studios. I think they need to get that Falcon that is in Galaxy's Edge to be the world's largest operable drone. It needs to happen.
They had, speaking of drones, that for the grand opening.
I did see that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that would be amazing if I could walk into Hollywood Studios in the morning and the Falcon buzzed in my head as I was walking in. That would be pretty darn cool.
I think if there was a way that they could do 3D mapping, projecting without having a surface behind it, then Disney would produce something like that. Now you got me thinking that would be really cool. That would be a heck of a way to open Galaxy's Edge. If you're the first family or the first guest of the day, you get to come in, and as you get there, the big reveal is the Millennium Falcon just resting and landing into place.
Landing for the day.
Oh, come on, Imagineers! You had an opportunity.
Those two dads call themselves 3 dads because there's a missing personality in there somewhere. We each have like half of another personality, but it whatever. It's this the 3 schizophrenic dads. It's but there's 2 of us. No, it's
get your Disney annual pass.
They have so many things that I just think are really, really, really incredible. And there are so many additional options that anyone can think of. I mean, when everyone loves to be a critic of what they could have done.
Right.
And I think at some levels that's unfortunate because, again, like when you take Galaxy's Edge, you've got to remember, and I have to remind myself of this too, so I don't get frustrated. When they made that announcement, it was years of building. So when they make the announcement that they're actually doing it, now those plans are in place based on the technology of that time.
Yep.
If there's further advancement, it becomes harder and harder as you progress to implement the updated technology into what you designed.
Right. And there have been, to your point, there have been attractions designed and created where when they broke ground from day one, they knew it's like our technology is not here yet, but we've got next gen folks working in a secret space to make it happen so that by the time we have to incorporate it, it's going to work. But I love the fact that most of the time this is what we're working with. A great point is the soundtracks for the background music at Disney's Magic Kingdom in Orlando for decades was these massive reel-to-reel machines that were down in the utilidor level. I mean, even when digital technology was a thing, they just we don't want to mess with it because this stuff works.
Did you see that Disney, I think it was Disneyland Paris, lost its sound for like 3 hours the other day? And so they said walking around the parks was eerie. And when I think about it, I don't really notice the music till it's gone.
Yep.
And it's if a restaurant loses it, you're like, wow, it's really quiet in here. And
it's true. When I worked at Disney the first time, there was attraction operations walking up Hollywood Boulevard towards what is now Pixar Avenue. Sometimes I'd get to the park. It was dark. It was so early. They're still hosing everything down. No music. Nothing.
We've been there that early. We're that obsessed.
Awesome.
We've been there that early. That's a great point. I was just thinking, as she said, they should invent and rent out speeder bikes. I was just thinking about the immersive hotel, and what a great idea for anyone who needed like ECV, like the electric wheelchair. Anyone disabled going in to stay at the new immersive space hotel. Wouldn't it be cool if they have space style ECV rentals?
You gotta know they're
incredible.
I just realized I could look at the chat and I saw the people that are there and wanted to say hi and thanks for joining us. You got to believe that somebody is probably thinking about that and has figured out a way to make something like that happen. I'm curious what the transport's going to look like to take you from the Star Cruiser to Batu, because that's also supposed to be a big deal.
Is it going to be a U-Haul? They're just going to like paint some pictures on it. You're going to get off the elevator door and you're going to walk into this little cargo ship, but it's really going to be a U-Haul.
Honestly, it would be funny if it were a Star Trek transporter. That would be awesome. It would be just like 3 to beam up.
Maybe they could get the I'm wondering. Nah, that wouldn't work. I was thinking it'd be cool if they could do like the seating to Star Tours in the back of a truck or a van where you sat down and watched like a movie as you went over. Had like a motion simulation. It's going to be some kind of simulation in
I'm
it
sure
it's going to be blacked out.
Honestly, when I,
an AT-AT, there you go.
What's that?
He said, Frank said an AT-AT.
Oh yeah. When I was still at Universal, Hogsmeade was there, and they were building the Hogwarts Express, and backstage you're looking at that and going, how the hell is this ever going to be a train? But dang, they pulled it off. So clearly, once you're inside the train and you're riding and you're experiencing that thing, it's magic. And maybe Disney's got something like that up their sleeve.
Oh, I'm sure. No, it's not. Maybe they do. They do. It'll be something impressive. I mean,
it won't be the Millennium Falcon landing.
No. But I mean, it will serve its purpose of making you feel as though it could very well be a U-Haul truck, but it will still make you feel as though you are transporting effectively. Could you imagine the look on a kid's face when he got to operate a speeder bike instead of their everyday wheelchair? Yeah, that's. I'm just saying that would be super cool. That would be super cool. We're gonna wrap up for tonight because we are at the hour mark. And Ron has a bedtime this evening. He has responsibilities. Hey,
go ahead, blame me.
You have a job. Fine. I don't have to work till tomorrow night. I get to sleep in. So
I love my shirt.
I do like that shirt. I like mine too.
I love your shirt too.
But the what I was gonna say is,
hey, you know what look better? You know what look better on you than that shirt, right?
I'm scared right now.
Anyway, we're really glad that everybody joined us tonight.
But to her point about the speeder bike and the wheelchair, that bridges very nicely into an episode I want to do at some point soon with a good friend of mine, Danny. He has a son in a wheelchair, and I want to talk about visiting theme parks, with someone with either special needs or wheelchair or needs accessibility. And I want to have someone speak that can speak firsthand. And Danny has really been someone that has experienced pretty much everywhere. And he's from New York. His son, Hunter, is amazing. And I would love to try to get them on the show and just spend an episode or at least some time talking about all that the parks do to help and where they can improve, because Danny has definitely brought up points before that you or I would never think of. And when you have a different perspective, what we think of as being easy or simplified becomes a very complex process for someone parenting a child with special needs or with disabilities. And
I got to say, real quickly, I think, the first challenge, I've only ever been in a wheelchair in the parks once, and it was in the summer. And, at that eye level, seeing nothing but butts and guts and wondering with every attraction, every show, every restaurant, can we access? I was paying attention from the perspective of being wheelchair bound, which even though I knew the parks, I was looking at it through a different set of lenses. So that's I would love to hear their insights.
Yeah, I'd love to get him on. And again, that's one of the things we want to do with this. We enjoy the talks. We want to have fun, but we want to share information with you. We want to share perspective. We want to share thoughts outside the windows of our own thought processes as well, and get people on that can talk to us about different things. I'd love to invite Bob Chapek on and see if he would have any kind words for us.
And then we could have Bob Iger to ask how he thinks his successor is doing.
Yeah, or Mr. Diamaro. I
yes,
love to have him. He of those three would be the one that I could actually see saying, "Yeah, I'll jump on." Like he just is such a
George. I think George Calagridis too. Actually, I met him. I have a photo somewhere with him because I met him at the Legacy Awards dinner, and that guy, he's like Tom Nabby, who would probably also jump on. The guy who played Tom Sawyer in Disneyland got hired by Walt. Anyway, George Calagridis, who started with the company in '71 as a busser in the Polynesian, he hung out and talked to every single person. Man, I think his handler was irritated. It's like, we gotta go. But he was taking photos and talking to people and learning about their journeys and stuff like that. That to me, that's priceless. That carries massive weight.
Well, I think those are some of the things that would be great to do as we move forward and do stuff. And again, for those of you watching, if you have suggestions or ideas, please reach out. Let us know.
Yes.
And also ask questions, make comments. I'm glad we got a few comments tonight. Those were great at the end there, suggestions. So, having the conversation, that's what makes this fun for us. We chat ourselves, but chatting with you guys makes it fun, and we want to be able to reach a point where we're bringing some different perspective, and it's not just the stuff you see on Facebook groups every day. That we want to bring in some opinion and some thought and candid thought, and share what we feel could be better and what we are really impressed with, and also give credence to some of the criticisms that people are presenting, while also offering explanations as to why some of those things occur that the average everyday person may not have thought of. Disney, just like Universal, they're not intentionally trying to aggravate anybody. They're trying to make money. So it's just because it feels like they're making all the wrong decisions. All right. We're going to wrap up for the night. And guys, we hope to see you next Tuesday. Tell your friends if you have any. We don't, clearly, because none of them watch. but we have a couple dedicated fans, and we appreciate you very much. But we will see you with episode 11 next week. Topic to be determined. We will figure it out. But I'm going to reach out to Danny this week and see if we can schedule him for some time in the next few weeks. And
thanks everybody for joining us and putting up with Brian's shenanigans. I mean, somebody's got to play the straight guy to him. I guess it'll be me.
Yeah, that's definitely you. I can't even keep a straight face. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up and call it a night. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time.
We love you guys.